Hi everybody, this is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, I send you love. Well, here I am trying to make a video, and I have been talking for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, and nothing was being recorded, and I guess I'm just going to laugh that away. I could give up, or I can try to redo this video. And I'm not sure I could do it as great of a job that I was previously doing, but I'm going to do my best. I want to talk about a couple of things. This new moon in Virgo and the alignment of us going into the equinox here. But I want to also mention yesterday, which I believe I may have said in my other video, that yesterday was a 5-5 day. It was actually a 5-5-5 day because we have September, which becomes the universal 5 month. We had the 5th day of that month, but we are in a 5 year, making it a 5-5-5 day, which makes it a huge transition from change into something else, transformation into something else, from one element into another. So as we are moving here through the new moon here in Virgo, we all know that the new moon means new beginnings, greater opportunities, and all that good stuff. But in experiencing anything new, what has to take place? A death. You may be experiencing something that is lesser than in order to get to that greater experience. So if you're feeling low, give yourself some compassion, try to find some understanding in how you are feeling so that you can have a different experience. If you are having experiences that are causing lots of inner turmoil, understand that those experiences must be purified within you in order to create a new experience. So when we're talking about Virgo, and more specifically the Virgin Mary, Mary became a virgin by the process of alchemy, by performing the great work, the magnum opus. She took all of her elements and made herself pure in order to birth Christ. We have to change our elements and transform them from a lesser than, a very dense element, into a higher, more refined element. And that is what's taking place. And you've probably been feeling it. I know I have been. For a couple of days here, hot and very intensely, where you might be feeling as if you are experiencing some type of hay fever, headaches, emotional imbalances. The list is limitless here, because as we are refining ourselves, especially when it comes to Mercury, that this is the element of Mercury that has to be transformed. And it deals with the element of Earth. And I forgot what I was talking about. So we have to, which is our sexual Mercury. I hope that okay. Yes, sexual Mercury. I think I mentioned in the Equinox video. Please go back, and that was 3 days ago. In order to have a heaven on earth, or this new earth, and I'm going to kind of explain that as well. I hope it's still recording. Yes, I just double checked. We have to create the new earth. We have to bring in the higher mind, the heart, and the solar plexus. These 3 areas must be refined and matched. But we're bringing heaven to earth also. And when, let's see, I don't even know if I said this in this video or not because of me making 2 videos now. So if I am repeating myself in this video, please excuse me. Now, Virgin is in reference to the Virgin Mary and Mother, M-O-T-H-E-R, which I mentioned in a couple of my other videos when I talk about the CSF. In Latin, it's called Mater, M-A-T-E-R, which is within the womb of Mercury. And I think, I don't know. Anyway, just be with me. Bear with me, please. Mercury it signifies the Holy Spirit that has been divided. And now, since I mentioned that, I want to kind of explain how this division here, especially now that we are working our way into unity and wholeness through the equinox and birth. Wherever it is that you are at, you're working through this no matter what. Now, we have our form, okay, and we're working with the laws of 3 here. When we have our physical form, we have a complete separation of self because the masculine and the feminine aspect of self is hidden from one. So if you're kind of like thinking in that, you know how when you're watching Tom and Jerry and he has that little devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. So you can say one is the masculine and one is the feminine. Now, what has to take place is that the masculine energy must realize it has another counterpart. It must realize that feminine aspect from within that masculine energy. So we're just going to say there's a spirit over here on the left and then the spirit of energy on the right, being masculine and feminine. They have pillars of Jachin and Boaz within these 2 energies, and including yourself. And every time that you are centered in love within your physical form here, living within this 3D reality, very dense and negative, when you decide to choose love, you're opening up a different doorway, which is going to allow Christ's light to move within you, to create more harmony and bring in and anchor in those masculine and feminine energies. So you'll have an 11 and then an 11 and then an 11, because that is really what Jachin and Boaz signify, an 11, which we know that 11 signifies awakening. And when we're going through now when we end up going through this portal of the equinox, we're working with that 12 and 12 timeline. And that timeline works with the 12-12 of the Merkaba. But on the higher aspects, it's working through the Holy Father principle and the Sun. The 13 is a major connection. The 13 more specifically works with the mother, or that feminine aspect, but the Holy Mother principle on its higher aspect, which also anchors us at the 13th doorway or gateway of Earth. And you being 11, or you being that 11, you help anchor in all of this, because you have constructed your own temple. And that is what that 33 of what I was saying, 11, and 11 anchored in becomes. That the element of Mercury is now working within you, in your favor, creating a higher element that led into gold. And I think I mentioned that in my previous video of the equinoxes. So what's going on with myself? Why didn't I make a video for a couple of days? as we are going through this change of season, a lot of us, again, are feeling either emotional symptoms or all the above, emotional, physical, and mental issues, probably as we go through this. And as the human principle of all of this, a lot of us know these symptoms as hay fever, sinus, respiratory infections, whatever it is that you're associated with being sick. You could be experiencing some of this stuff. And for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 days, I'm good today. Been sneezing so uncontrollably, and it just makes you feel kind of brain foggy. I don't know if you ever have had those types of, and I don't believe in illnesses, but the individual who is used to hay fever, of course my old self, did think that I had allergies and suffered from hay fevers, and I would end up getting sinus infections, upper respiratory infections, and whatever it was. I had, my asthma, of course, was always affected, but so I was experiencing that for several days, which just kind of made me feel fugly. I felt really drained from so much sneezing, and I just took some time to kind of recompose myself. I was given information in reference to where I am, and this is something, as we are going through this true gateway here, however many times you go through this gateway, you are given the opportunity to reach a higher level of self every single time and tap into more information in regards to you. Now, this golden gate I mentioned in the silver gate is in reference to the higher mind, when the pineal and pituitary glands have finally, which work with the Ida and Pingala of the nadis, along with the Sushumna, when the element of Mercury has finally reached the back of the crown and has finally refined itself and merged with all three aspects of those energies in the back of the crown, which is also working with the Alta Major. You complete wholeness. In order for, and I hope I can make sense or make you understand how this works by making sense as it comes out of my mouth. In order to experience heaven on earth, we have to bring matter into existence, or spirit into matter. The mouth of God, the Alta Major, the back of the crown, where the crucifixion or the refining, the increasing of that element rises into the crown, can take place. It becomes activated, and although this is considered to be the ninth chakra or something, it's a part of the thalamus complex, which activates the Alta Major. It activates which is also called the mouth of God. It activates the permanent seed atom within the heart, and creates this infinity sign within us. So it might be at the third harmonic universe, in relationship to the third harmonic universe. It doesn't mean that you are in the third dimension. So please don't think that. It is actually part of the higher aspects of self, working through the seventh dimensional earth. Because the permanent seed atom doesn't actually become activated until later on, when the monad, just before the monad is about to, or prior to the monad's activation. And this is why you could be having crown issues, and this goes with anything within the crown, whether it's headaches or sinus pressure or the sneezing, and it can affect your throat, it can affect your chest, even your digestion or your intestines, anything within the body, because it's working with every single thing that affects your hormones. It's upgrading it at a higher level. And it doesn't matter at what stage you are, whether or not you are about to integrate your monad or not, or if you are tapping into your higher self here or not. If you're beginning your journey now, this is still the same energy that is coming through. You can have a more difficult time if you are beginning, because your body is still going through that density, which means that if you are having, like if you had experienced what I have been experiencing, that tons of sneezing this past weekend, it could have really knocked you on your feet. Like for myself, I do remember as I went through this doorway here after the Lion's Gate into the Equinox, that I would always get a sinus infection, upper respiratory infection. I lost my voice at one point. It's been a couple of years. So whatever it is, please, don't compare journeys too much. That if you are having more of a difficult time physically, feeling as if you are more ill, there's so much purification taking place. And as you work your way up the ladder through your ascension, it won't feel so dense and so difficult. Although I was sneezing a lot this past weekend, I can look back and I can definitely say this season is not the same as the previous seasons. It gets easier and easier, or less and less difficulty as you move into love. And let's see. So yeah, as I was saying, that the energy centers, the 3 energy centers, must unite and then are amplified, intensified within the base of the skull, and that unification merges with that silver cord that I have spoken about here in the past month or so, creating one unification. So that's something that I have been actually kind of like talking to myself in the past couple of weeks. The 3 must become one. So that silver cord merges with those 3 energy fields. And I wanted to, as we went through the Lion's Gate portal, and here we are, I've been thinking more about my path here, because I did that video, and if you haven't watched it, please go back, in reference to the 12 cell salts and the CSF, which is the cerebral spinal fluid, part of the Raising the Christ oil. And I kept saying, I know I'm not done. I know I'm not done. I am not there. I don't know. I know that. And I'm not going to lie to anybody and say, well, I am my higher self. Inch by inch, little by little, I am a portion of my higher self, but I am not sitting within my role here. I'm getting closer every single day. So I've been thinking, why? I know that you don't truly integrate your monad until you're towards the end of your ascension cycle. And you're not truly in your ascension cycle until the mouth of God, or you have reached, or that Mercury has ascended towards the 33rd vertebrae where it can be crucified. And so a few things have happened in this past month that I have not mentioned because I didn't have full knowledge of it, full awareness of it yet. Prior to the Lionsgate portal, God gave me the 2 dates, and I briefly mentioned that in one of my videos. August the 18th of 2020 and August the 18th of 2021. And of course, I was like, okay, it's marking 1 year of making it through the Lionsgate portal again. I don't know. Although I've been through it 3 times, because I know now I have made it through my ascension cycle, or within that towards of me capturing more of my higher self at the higher chakras, that is. I just, okay, I kept that in the back burner there, just thinking about it here and there and here and there. A few days ago, I was doing some things this past weekend, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to ask my mom when I was supposed to be born. I haven't thought about this in a very long time. I'm 46 years old. My mom has always mentioned that all of us kids were premature. And I myself have had a premature son. So he was born in September. He was born in July. He's actually, his real true due date is September the 17th. He was born July the 17th. And so I asked my mom, but I knew that this was a part of my problem, of me finding understanding as to why I'm in the process still. It's because I wasn't born. I wasn't supposed to be born on April 23rd. I was supposed to be born on August the 18th. So that is when it was in 2020. The end of July is when God told me to start focusing on the sacred secretion. And got me, so August I began really working on my sacred secretion practices, marking 1 month. 1 month to August of this year, completed my 12-month cycle. The 13th, becomes highly significant because we do have 13 astrological signs. But the 13 becomes the Golden Gate, where it is either the Silver Gate in its opposite or the Golden Gate. And let me see. So what I was trying to say is that the 13th becomes highly significant, which is Ophiuchus, which works with that 9th chakra of your monadic body, which what I was just talking about in reference to the mouth of God, bringing in the spiritual triad of the 7th, 8th, and 9th layer within the higher heart of the thymus gland, the mouth of God, as well. So remember that the Holy Father principle ignites with the Holy Mother principle within the heart that activates the permanent seed atom and brings on the higher activations of the monad through the mouth of God, or the Alta Major in the back of the crown, which is in reference to the medulla oblongata. And so you could be experiencing through all of this left and right kind of a pull, but you could also be experiencing one part of your body feeling more of this tension. And again, there's no right or wrong. Each of us go through our process very differently, yet some of us can go through it the same. What I wanted to really point out as well, and regardless of whatever video you're watching of mine, please take whatever resonates with you and omit what doesn't. Not everything is going to click, from 1 to 20 or 100, whatever it is that I am talking about. Not everything is going to click or make sense. It might not make sense right now, but maybe down the line it might, and then it might not ever make sense. It just means it's not a part of your resonance right now, or ever will be. And before I let you go, as we have been getting to this point, I have been finding myself going through my past. Like light bulbs are going off in my mind, of course, in reference to when I'm truly born, for one, and life is taking me to my past. You might be seeing that as well. If we can go back into our own personal timeline, whether it's in this lifetime or even previous lifetimes, and not have a reaction with it, we are healed. And if we are healed from that experience, it means we can move forward. And that is why we have to repeat cycles. We repeat them in order to heal from them. If you are finding yourself having lots of experiences that are giving you the same type of emotions, whether aggravated, being bitter, angry, jealous, resentful, whatever it is because you have to heal from those types of ideas and emotions in order to move differently and develop that heaven on earth. So I apologize. I know my video has been everywhere. I don't know. It could be, to me, I don't know what it seems like. I am doing whatever I can possibly do today, the best that I can possibly do in this moment. I am experiencing a lot more peace within, lots of harmony. When you experience peace, it is because there is harmony within the cells. There is unity within the cells. And it has nothing to do with, your world is completely 100%. You are in harmony. We deal with a world that has other beings here who are going through an ascension cycle, whether they realize it or not. We have, it's a blessing to be able to live within a reality where we can share experiences. Our families, we're sharing with our families, we're sharing with our friends. And if we can't find peace and harmony within, we're pulling the rest of the collective out. But when we find our own peace within ourselves, knowing our true energies, knowing our masculine and feminine selves, and bringing those in unison to find more deeper connection between the Holy Father and Holy Mother principles, we find our inner Christ, which gives us our true oneness, the true peace, true love within, where we can share our peaceful moments with others and begin to shift from 3D to 5D, from a world full of discomfort, pain, war, and separation, to a world in peace and in love. I hope this video has made sense and helps you out on your journey. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.